All right, and we're back. We're about to get down into what Waki said. So, the doctor was a quacker. All right, let's press on that just right away.
Yeah, sure.
First of all, the word you're looking for is quack.
Thanks, Apollo.
And isn't that a little harsh? He's your family doctor.
Who asked you, Pointy Locks? Just who do you think you are?
I'm Apollo Justice, and I'm fine.
I'm Apollo Justice, and I'm fine, and I approve of this message.
Your lawyer?
Look, I ain't trying to hear that. He was a quacker, plain and simple.
Okay, yeah, that's not the word. Okay. Someone had to show what's what. I was in his clinic about a half year ago. He messed up my arms. My bad. Probably pressed there.
Yeah.
So, you were a patient at the Maractus Clinic half a year ago. For what reason?
I had what you might call a mark of honor. Can you explain precisely what was wrong? We had a little run-in with the Rivali's family.
Yeah, Rivali's. Yeah.
Yeah. That's when I pulled a jack move. And ran into an ambush. Got ambushed. G busted a cap right in me. According to my sources, you couldn't stand the stress of waiting and ran 15 minutes before the appointed time. By yourself. Wow. Hey, I was more than a match for those guys.
So you were carried to the Maractus Clinic from there?
Apparently, he was shot in the heart.
But who was to blame? Sorry. Shot in the heart? And he's still alive?
I can catch bullets between my teeth.
What? What? Jersey, you can't just say things like that. And also, why the fuck do you know that?
How did you test that?
Yeah, who was shooting at you? That's a crime.
But I never learned how to catch them with my heart.
Please don't.
The bullet stopped just short of my thumper, you know what I'm saying? I would have been golden if it weren't for that whack doc. Can't even take out a stupid bullet. So, as you say, the surgery was a failure. That ain't all of it, Holmes.
Soon just press it again.
Yeah, and he just lets you go so we get the rest of the story.
Yeah. What do you mean he just let you go without a word?
What do you think it means? It's whack, that's what.
I'm not sure what that means, but it sounds bad.
It sounds as though Herr Doctor wished to hide his mistake. That's why he let the defendant go. He's a liar, straight up. He's a badder G than me.
More details, please.
More who? Which other doc? You are the worst person.
So this bullet is still?
You know it. I can still feel it. Right there in my chest, pressing up against my heart. Your words like a bullet shot straight into my heart. Or something to that effect. Incidentally, that's from one of our hit singles. I'm going mad.
Well, that sounds like a straightforward case of malpractice.
You just sue people. Word, G-Man. Weren't no accent, that's for shizzle. Oh, this is terrible.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I'm sorry.
No.
I mean, it would be worse if I was reading it, so. It seems that there were issues with this doctor.
Man, putting him down like that was doing the world a favor.
Waki, please consult your lawyer before saying things like that.
Chin up, Apollo. Back straight.
Yes, ma'am. But why did this mistake only come to light that day?
It was found during the family health checkup.
The family health checkup?
That was the wackest thing of all. All us G's lining up taking eye exams and all that. Better to die young than fade away, biz boy. A relief to hear. What's a relief? Oh, did your father not tell you? That bull you carry so close to your heart, if not attended to immediately, it could kill you.
What?
Yeah, no one else thought that was a bad idea.
No one else. Nope. Just tell him right now.
No. Yes, Herr Dr. Maractus had knowledge concerning this ticking time bomb in you. Knowledge that could have saved your life. No way, that's whacked. There is proof, your checkup report.
Rocky's checkup report added to the court record.
How ironic that you would kill the one man capable of helping you. You're almost as careless as he was. Well, now that the place is hopping.
Yeah, that totally got our fucking energy up. Thanks.
Yeah, nothing like impending death to get a place hopping. Let's get this gig started.
I thought we were already started.
We were in it.
Started? We already started it.
We've had enough of a warm-up act, y'all. Time to hear from the witness. Walkie sure is quiet all of a sudden.
I'm a little uneasy myself. Is this Gavin's strategy?
Who's this guy?
Just process that.
So, you will tell us your name and occupation. There's a lot in this character design. My name is Wesley Stickler. By occupation...
He's just going, I'm not doing this.
Oh, however, I must acknowledge the meaning of my identity, which is commonly attached to the notion of occupation. And once we have accepted this reality... Oh, gosh. The Gestalt? Oh, no. By which he means to say that he is a student. A junior at Ivy University, if I am not mistaken. Just Ivy.
Yeah, just Ivy.
Yes, in the Department of Science and Engineering. Oh, okay. Okay.
I will say Ivy University has been in previous games before, not like as a huge location, but yeah, we've heard of it before, so they were probably just like, yeah, let's use that.
That makes sense. Filled with curiosity for all things, I spend my days in pursuit of truth, honing my... Herr Stickler, please direct said curiosity to the case at hand today.
Very well, Mr. Stickler. Please testify to the court about what you saw on the night of the crime.
You ask, quite simplistically, what I saw. However, understand that Homo sapiens possess they're designed to receive and interpret data, sending images to the form of signal to the brain then interprets the signal.
You picked up. God.
Yeah. Think I don't know how the eye works?
I never said that. I never said you don't know how anything works, because you probably know a lot about everything.
Not a lot about a lot of things. I don't really understand cars. They confuse me.
A night in the park.
That night, I passed through the park on my way home from shopping when I saw them. One man pulling a stand, another man facing him. I saw them quite clearly. The man facing the victim was the defendant. In his hand, he held, yes, a pistol. It was pointed at the man pulling the stand. A shot. The bullet hit the man pulling the stand from the front, square in the forehead. Well, now hold on. The autopsy report already said it was a shot to the temple.
Yep, it sure did. So that's a good place to start, huh? Was there anyone else in the park at that time?
I can say with 100% accuracy that there was not. What, you geolocated every person in LA?
Yeah, I guess.
The pistol our witness refers to is this.
The court accepts this into evidence. Pistol added to the court record. Very well. Mr. Justice, you may cross-examine the witness. Yes, Your Honor. Trucy, why are you staring like that at the witness?
That man. I can't help but feel like I've seen him somewhere before.
Huh?
She is
Anyway.
staring with intent.
Yeah, Trucy and Apollo are the staring duo.
They stare.
They do. I love it. They're so off-putting.
I feel like I walk into a room and they're just staring at me. Okay.
All right, so I think the number one thing is we should get that forehead.
Yeah, what was that about? Also, I would like to point out, why are you wearing your full, regalia for graduation, but also wearing a bolo tie over it and pulling the bolo tie up over the graduation regalia?
Yep, and there's a shirt on under that, so I don't know. I have no idea what his deal is, but he sucks. That's what I know. All right, so we can present this.
Yeah.
I wonder if this will work now, because I remapped a bunch of stuff, so...
Oh, getting fancy
Objection!
with the buttons.
That's so satisfying. Whew, if that's all of it, I think I have a chance.
Is that you relaxing, I see, Hair Justice?
Objection! Once is quite enough, Mr. Justice.
Apollo, pace yourself. This trial's not over yet.
I haven't used up all my objection juice, it's fine. Right. Look at this. The autopsy report. Is there a problem with the autopsy report? Right, a problem. Yes, the problem is the location of the entry wound. The location?
Way to go, kid.
You testified that the killer shot the victim square in the forehead, did you not?
I have already determined your angle of inquiry. Allow me to explain. It was quite simple. First, understand that when I said square, I speak not of the geometrical absolute, but what do I mean by this? For example, the angle of deflection, the wavelength of light emitted by a krypton particle, as we all know. In addition,
God, this guy
krypton
sucks.
particles are rare and invisible. The eye, which at point makes the basic faulty in your line of
James
reasoning,
Charles
namely
looking ass. Mr. Justice.
That is what his face reminds me of. Thank you.
Yes, it's just James Charles.
Oh, gosh.
Yes. Was your objection to these, krypton particle things?
This is the big time, and you're obsessed with something so small. You disappoint me.
What is happening? Everyone's just bullying me today. Excuse me. No, I'm obsessed with something big. Is this a euphemism? I don't get it.
Leave me alone.
I mean, there's a bigger, less nitpicky problem here. Do tell. Just look at the autopsy report. The location of the entry wound was the right temple.
Temple?
Mr. Stickler, you said quite clearly that the victim was shot square in the forehead. That's a contradiction. Isn't it?
Oh my God, have some confidence.
It is right. Finally.
Objection!
Hair Justice. Oh, Hair Justice.
Yes?
Your tactics are outdated, trying to shake the witness by objecting to trifles. Surely you haven't forgotten the fatal wound your master suffered 7 years ago? Phoenix Wright, was it?
Look, I know the wound was in the wrong place according to his testimony.
That's face. Hey, Herr Forehead.
What? Forehead?
Let us imagine you are walking through the park. You see two men facing each other, one with a pistol trained on the other. What would you do, Herr Forehead?
Well, I guess I would try to stop them. I'd probably shout, "Stop!"
And you, Fräulein? Me? Well, I'd probably scream, "Eek!" And you, Herr Stickler? What did you shout, I wonder?
And the victim turned his head at the last moment.
Ah, yes, thank you for jogging my memory.
It sounds like an addendum to the testimony is required. A Night in the Park 2! The sequel to Night in the Park.
Electric Boogaloo. As soon as the killer raised his pistol, I took action. Cease this at once, you two, I cried with composure.
Likely story.
The victim turned in the direction of my voice, and a shot rang out. Whereupon our cowardly killer, the defendant, appeared to have become frightened. Tossing the pistol aside, he fled from the scene.
I see, so you attempted to stop the crime.
Indeed, with composure. Well, maybe the criminal wouldn't have fired if he hadn't shouted like that.
That doesn't really matter now, unfortunately.
Let us consider this new testimony, shall we? Observe the diagram, if you would. Yes! Diagram time!
Your favorite!
I love diagrams. The witness, Mr. Stickler, was it, stood here. He shouted, "Oh, stop, please," or something of that nature. And the victim responded by looking in the witness's direction. If the killer were to have fired at just that moment, as we can see, the bullet would have struck the right temple as in the report.
That does seem to be the case.
Witness the power of a junior in Ivy University's Department of Science.
Very well, Mr. Justice. You may cross-examine the witness. Again, I guess. A Night in the Park.
How do we know the victim was, how do we know that he was standing there? Or the witness was standing there and not on the other side?
Well, I guess that's what we're going to have to clear up in this cross-examination.
I just, okay, I keep putting the
cart, the noodle cart before the killer.
Yeah, the noodle cart before the killer or the victim or the whoever's pulling the cart.
All right. Okay, you took action. So you 1, 2. Whereupon our cowardly killer, the defendant, appeared to have become frightened. Tossing the pistol aside, he fled from the scene.
Let's press that to see which direction he
fled. Hold it! You didn't try to apprehend the criminal?
It all happened so fast, I'm afraid I hadn't the time. Doesn't something about that strike you as odd, Apollo?
What?
The killer was in a hurry, right? He just fired the pistol and tossed it right away.
According to the testimony, that's what happened, yes.
In that case, I expect to find something that we didn't find.
Find something? Find what?
I like that contradiction. Kind of sad to see it go.
Not as sad as I feel. What do we do now?
At least the testimony's getting a little clearer.
She's right. Maybe I can find something to use in this new testimony. Okay, that was just the loop.
Yeah.
Dialogue, okay. Let's look through. Okay. Pistol, 2 rounds.
Fired. 2 rounds were fired.
Oh,
the fingerprints.
Okay.
If he tossed the gun immediately after firing, why aren't there fingerprints on the gun?
Yeah.
So we should keep going until he says he immediately tosses the gun and then present the gun.
Okay.
There it is.
Yep. Gotcha.
Hold it.
Wait. Objection! No, that one didn't work, I guess. Objection!
Nice. One take.
Wait a second.
Tis, tis, tis. Another misleading request. Yet you're so beholden to your own mode of discourse, you can't see how it affects you.
Come again?
Wait a second, you say? A second? Oh my gosh. Are we intended to wait just that single second, 1/60th of a minute? That's hardly enough time to draw a breath, let alone make a statement in court. How do you ask for a longer period of time, say 3 minutes, 35 seconds?
Mr. Justice. Yes, Your Honor. Am I to understand you are objecting to the length of a second? Yes, I mean, no. Here, just look at the pistol. Just look at this. God.
Look at this gun.
Look. See, this guy, it looks like he's like holding.
It does. It looks like he's holding the gun.
We may be out of options. Or we may be out of evidence, but we're not out of options.
Thank God. It's only missing 2 shots.
Yeah. It doesn't have a single fingerprint on it.
A common ploy made all the more common, I fear, by the prevalence of television. Criminals these days are loath to leave fingerprints.
Wait, but you said the killer tossed the gun and ran.
That's right. He didn't have time to wipe the gun for prints. The little girl is sticking it to the university student. There's a song in there. I'm not little. Then let's think like adults, shall we, Foreline? Eh? What if the killer, the defendant, was wearing gloves? Gotta admit, I didn't think of that, Apollo.
Hey, I love her. She's ready to accept constructive criticism. Well, Mr. Justice, could the killer have been wearing gloves?
No way.
No
we had
way.
the knife with the prints on it.
Yeah. The record of the murder weapon is very clear about one thing. The fingerprints were wiped, which means some trace of prints remained, which contradicts your testimony. If everything happened as you say it did, he wouldn't have had time to wipe the pistol. I hate his face. I hate his face so much.
That may be, but it does not change what I saw. The killer, the defendant, he threw down the murderous weapon from his hand and fled. Can a weapon be murderous?
Yeah, the weapon itself isn't murderous, but yeah.
He's not an English student. They don't make you take writing classes if you go to engineering school.
You say that, but he get very picky about his grammar or whatever when Apollo objected. So I don't know.
He got picky about the length of time that a second is measured by.
True.
And this pistol was found at the scene of the crime, strongly suggesting that this was the weapon he disposed of. That sounds solid to me. Well, Herr Forehead, any of your precious objections? What gives, Apollo? Let's see that voice training go to work.
You know, I've only recently realized something. No matter how much you train your voice, it doesn't matter if you have nothing to say. Mood! Mood!
What a terrible little boy.
This is why I let people write for me. Anyway.
What do you mean, nothing to say? Isn't it obvious from what the witness just said?
Huh? Isn't what obvious?
When he restated what he saw just now, he said that he saw Walkie drop a murderous weapon. But that's not the same thing as being 100% sure of what Walkie threw away.
You're right.
He just confused because the pistol was found at the scene. Poor Mr. Stickler. It must be hard to be so perfect and yet so wrong. Well, it can be said that I'm quite offended. While it is indeed, I was seeing
All right. There he goes again. What we can say for certain is that the witness saw the killer throw something. Does the defense have anything to say about this?
Yeah, it was a knife. Well, if the killer... Well, what if he threw away wasn't a pistol? But it had... You.
Oh, then it had to be something else. Listen, I can read, I guess. All right.
At least one person on the defense team seems to be thinking.
Grr. I'll wipe that smile off your pretty face, Gavin.
You
Pretty.
think my face is pretty.
Perhaps you can inform the court as to the nature of this something else. What did the killer throw away before fleeing the scene? Okay, we know.
The pink cell phone, the knife. It's the knife.
Yeah, the pink cell phone. Yeah, that's it. All right, present the knife. Take that. Is that a sword? I saw one of those on the late night movie last night.
This implies that he has seen no other swords before the one on the movie last night.
I know. That's just not true.
That's also no way to live.
I love the judge. He doesn't know anything. Great, a sleep-deprived judge. This knife was found at the scene of the crime with the defendant's prints on them. His prints! This single piece of evidence proves two important things. One, that what the defendant threw down wasn't a pistol. Two, that the defendant wasn't wearing gloves. Indeed.
Oh, Herr Forehead. You're forgetting two other things you've just proven.
Huh?
One, that the man the witness saw was the defendant, Mr. Waki-Kataki. Two, that the defendant was holding a knife with the intent of harming the victim.
Oh! Indeed. Never underestimate a Gavin is the lesson here.
He's like just learning that? Didn't he work for the older Mr.
He worked for Kristoff. Like, I don't get it. I mean, clearly Kristoff didn't teach him much, but...
No.
This court is of the opinion that our witness is fond of making assumptions. In that light, I believe it would behoove us to hear about what really occurred. With less assuming, please. Makes an ass out of you and me. Hasn't your mother ever told you that? Guess not.
No, I don't think so. It's always the same with you people. Mark left house on foot, and 5 minutes later, his brother left after him. How long would it take for Mark's brother to catch up to him? Assuming that Mark never had to stop for a traffic light. Assuming. Yes, that's what I said. Assuming. As if that were a probable situation at all. Yet here you are, assuming that my assumption is no better.
What this court assumes is that the witness will testify as to what happened after the shot was fired. From shot to call. All right.
Wow. I could not prevent the killer from leaving the scene. Nor could I simply leave the scene in good conscience. Ergo, I used my cell phone to call the police. Until the police arrived at the scene 10 minutes later, I saw no one else.
Why didn't you chase the killer?
He was, as you say, a killer. Yeah, of course, I could have run him down, yet what would he have done when cornered? Sadly, it takes no more than aptitude for solving quadratic equations to know that. Did the testimony earlier not prove the defendant's presence at the scene? And do we not also now know that there was no one else there? It seems clear that we have our killer. Does it not?
Does it not, Mr. Justice? Better find a way to take this testimony down quick. All right.
Okay, let's do a testimony.
Okay. Prevent the killer from leaving the scene. Now, could I simply leave the scene in good conscience? Ergo, I used my cell phone to call Ellie. I want more details on that.
Yeah, let's press.
Wasn't your first thought to call an ambulance?
It can be said that I have dabbled in medicine. The injury I witnessed, namely a single shot to the head, tends to result in death. Ergo, there was no need for me to call an ambulance. Oh, a perfect syllogism, proof in 3 parts. Exquisite, simply exquisite.
He actually looks like he's going to cry. Okay. What else?
Press?
Sure. Details. Can you tell us in detail about these 10 minutes?
I stood in a state of heightened awareness. Anything could happen at any moment. Anyone could appear from any direction.
Is that all?
No one came. Nothing happened at all. I saw it all, which is to say, I saw nothing.
It was late at night. It's not odd to think there would be few people in the park. So he just stood there, watching? Huh, not much to go on there. Trucy, if you've got something to say, by all means say it. This witness is way too self-assured. There's gotta be a weakness somewhere in testimony. Okay, well, whatever. Trucy is very...
We should press, see which direction he left in.
Yes. Which way did the killer run?
By that time, it was clear the killer had noticed me. Naturally, he ran in the opposite direction.
That would mean he ran in the opposite direction from the Kitaki mansion.
Chung, don't even think about pointing that out. Woo. Chung, don't even think about pointing out that he was going away from his home. All he had to do was loop back once he was out of sight.
Ugh. How did he know that's where I was going? Apparently reading minds goes in the family.
Yeah, they might just, maybe their secret power is mind reading.
Maybe. Yeah, that never gets talked about ever, so. All right, no other could I simply leave the scene. I'm gonna press that, just in case.
Yeah.
You were certainly composed for someone who had just witnessed a killing.
Yeah, my dude. If someone is to devote one's life to the pursuit of science, one must never flinch at the sight of a little blood. Oh my god. Nor be so moved by a chemical discovery that one drops one's flask upon the lab room floor.
Sounds like one is a bad fucking scientist.
Why are you holding the flask? You shouldn't be holding the...
Yeah, that's not standard practice.
No, it should be on the stand in a clamp.
Yeah.
Oh, cool answer. Very cool. But it makes no sense.
So nothing strange about how he acted. Trucy's still fucking staring at me. Trucy looks like she has something to say. Ugh, I can't find a single problem with that testimony.
Had enough at last, Herr Forehead?
Maybe it's time to back off a bit. There's nothing fishy about that testimony at all. It appears there are no objections to the witness's current testimony.
There are any number of ways to explain the lack of prints on the pistol, I assure you. Perhaps the killer really was wearing gloves, which wiped the previous user's prints off. Then, after the deed was done, this fell out of his pocket as he was throwing the gun away. A mistake befitting of a small-time punk, in my opinion.
No! It seems we've come to the end of the line here. No, that can't be all.
How unfortunate. It seems that you weren't cut out to stand on the same stage as me. Were you, Herr Forehead?
He's so
What's
rude.
with the forehead?
He's so rude. Well, because it was the first objection that you brought.
Oh, right.
So it wasn't in the forehead. So yeah, that's now his nickname for you.
Incredible work.
I believe this brings the cross-examination to a close. This court will now declare a verdict for the defendant, Waki Kitaki.
Eek! What?
Trucy!
Nobody move.
What's the meaning of this? Who are you?
There'll be no verdict in this court, not yet.
Wait, are you one of the Kitakis? The Kitakis? You mean the notorious gangsters?
If you don't want to see me, if you don't want to see me give the pretty little girl a new smile, do as I say. But during the court for 20 minutes. Such a mild
What?
request.
This court will not bow to pressure from the likes of...
Herr Judge. I see little point in further aggravating this gentleman. Recess 20 minutes, or I'll promise you'll regret it.
Wait! How did he disappear so fast?
Are there, officers of the law in the court?
Yeah.
Come to the defendant lobby, Apollo.
I suppose I have no choice but to adjourn for a 20-minute recess. Bailiff, catch that mysterious man! Yeah, they just didn't do anything about it. All right, to be continued next time.